Now let's dive deeper into the wisdom of our esteemed guest, Brahmachari Achyutamrita Chaitanya. He joined Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham back in 2011, bringing over 20 years of teaching experience from Mahatma Gandhi University, Kerala. He earned his MA in Hindi language and literature in 1987, MPhil in 1989, and PhD in 1996 from Cochin University with a dissertation titled Analysis of Ramacharita on the basis of Bhakti Shastra. Brahmachari Achyutamrita Chaitanya has delivered spiritual talks in numerous temples across Kerala and at various centers of the Mada Amridandamai Math, and served as an associate professor in the Department of Cultural Education at Amrita University. Currently, he is serving as the principal of Amrita School of Spiritual and Cultural Studies. So I welcome Brahmachari Achyutamrita Chaitanya onto the stage.
Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Dishantu me deva sadattvadiyaha Dayataranganucharaha Kadakshaha Srotreshu pumsam amridam ksharandim Saraswadim samsridakamadhenum Yatra yatra raghunatha kirtanam Tatra tatra kritamastakанjalim Bashpavari paripurnalojanam Marutim namadarakshasan. I humbly bow down at Amma's lotus feet. My salutations to all my colleagues. I think this is not a very formal function because in the beginning, at the outset itself, Brahmachari Sahabhavanam has done the ice breaking very, very effectively. So I also feel that I need not make this very, very formal. I have a prepared speech which I used to deliver to such sessions like human resource development sessions. But I hope none of you have attended that session. Maybe if you have attended, it doesn't matter because all these things has to be repeated. Once you see or hear, then you close the chapter. That is not the way to approach our classical knowledge. I have a cousin who learned Kathakali after his maybe 40th birthday or in his early middle age. And he was very, very fascinated by Kathakali. And he started introducing many people to Kathakali. He was an engineer in the FEDO, FSCT, Wing Research and Development Wing, FEDO. So he introduced one person to Kathakali and they together watched maybe some 10 or 11 shows. And after that, when the 12th show came, he informed his brother about his friend about this show which is going to be staged on a stage in a nearby temple. Then that friend said, there are many Kathakalis you know, like Nalacharidam, Duryodhanavadam, Uttarasvayamvaram, Kujayalavartam, Sandanagopalam, Kiradam, etc. So they have together went for some 10 shows, 10 Kathakalis. Then when the 11th was being staged, my brother invited him and he said, no, that show, that Kathakali I have already seen, so I am not coming for it. Then my brother said, then you will not have to see much because there are only some 15 or 20 Kathakalis. And if you once see all these 20 and you finish seeing Kathakali, your Kathakali life is over. What is the message is we have to see again and again. Different persons enacting different roles, different Kathakali yogams presenting different Kathakalis. This is the case with all classical knowledge, all classical arts. So when we listen to ideas which are eternal, like what Amma represents, we have to again and again watch, again and again listen. When we listen to Amma's satsangs, we know many times the same thing Amma repeats. But it has to go deep into our hearts. Then only it will fructify. It will give us fruits, or it will become effective. It will show results. So even though this topic was, already you have attended to any talk related to this topic, please bear with me. So I will start the session, and as Sivanandan has instructed, I will tell about this self-introduction first. What I got was, it was a little unclear to me what this is. Then I used the Google Lens. And so you know my general knowledge, because we are all in the ashram, living for a long time in the ashram. Then my field was also Ramacharita Bhakti and all those things. And my association with ashram is very, very old. And I was living with Purnamurthananda Swami in Edapalli ashram. So many modern things are not very much familiar to me. So I had to search in the Google, using the Google Lens, and I found out it as this is a belt with a wallet. So I don't use belt, don't use wallet also. But I got a very good forgotten memories refreshed with this picture. There is a famous Subhashidam in Sanskrit. Subhashidams are very simple sayings in Sanskrit. That Subhashidam came to my mind when I saw this. Subhashidam is like this. This is very relevant for all of us. That is why that Subhashidam, when I was reminded of it, or when it came into my mind, I wanted to share it with you. The Subhashidam is, Apurvaha kobi koshoyam. Some of you might have heard it. Apurvaha kobi koshoyam vidyate tava bharati vedo vridhimayadi kshayamayadi sanjayat. It is about Saraswati Devi. We are all engaged in the worship of Saraswati. All academic activities are worship of Saraswati according to our philosophy, our tradition. So many names are there for Saraswati, you know, Bharati, Saraswati, Vani, Bhasha, many names. One of them is Bharati. So the poet says, Apurvaha kobi koshoyam vidyate tava Bharati. O Bharati or Saraswati, there is a peculiar kosha which belongs to you. Kobi koshoyam vidyate tava. You have a very special kosha. Kosha is wallet, purse, in which money and all wealth is kept. That is what is called kosha. You might have heard that in Hindi also we use kosha. For a treasurer, the word is koshadhyaksha. So this kosha is, wallet is very special. The Saraswati Devi's wallet is a peculiar one. What is the peculiarity or the speciality? Vyayado vridhimayadi kshayamayadi sanjayat. If Vyaya means spending, you know. In Malayalam also, in all Indian languages, we use Vyaya as spending. Midavyayam, all these words are there. Adivyayam, Midavyayam means spending, extravagancy. Midavyayam is modesty. So, this poet says, your kosha, your wallet is like this. Vyayado vridhimayadi. If we spend, it will become abundant. We have knowledge. We are all educated people. I am really feeling a little inferior to many of you, because many of you are very much knowledgeable than me in many fields. There is no doubt. So we don't have any speciality to claim. Everybody has their hold in their fields. So we are all sharing. There is nothing like delivering a sermon from a stage, an upper stage to a lower stage. Nothing like that. We are just sharing our knowledge. So what is the benefit? What is the speciality of Saraswati's wallet, kosha? Vyayado vridhimayadi. After this speech of maybe 45 minutes, my knowledge will get increased. There is no doubt. When I speak, to prepare the speak, I have to think many things, reflect on many things, refresh my knowledge. And if in classrooms, especially when we teach students, there will be interactions, and from their interactions, our knowledge will increase. Their questions, their doubts will trigger many questions in our minds, and if we are a sincere teacher, we will go and search for the answers. So any academic session, teaching learning session, will enhance the knowledge of the teacher. There is no doubt. That is why the first prayer that we have included in our 5 prayers is Om Sahanavavadu. The teacher and the student should be protected together. To the Lord, we pray that I and you, teacher and student together prays. This prayer is very important. It is an Upanishadic prayer. In that prayer, dual number is used. In Sanskrit, there is dual number. In English, there is no dual number. In Malayalam also, there is no dual number. In Hindi also, there is no dual number. But in Sanskrit, there is dual number, which mentions a group of 2 members. So that dual number is used in this whole prayer. In all lines, you can see the dual number. So the dual here indicates the teacher and the student. Maybe the student is a community, a mass, a classroom, and it is taken as one unit, and the teacher is the second unit, and these 2 units together constitute this group, which is mentioned in Sanskrit using a dual number. In Malayalam also we know that word Dvivachanam, but we don't have any noun in Dvivachanam or any verb in Dvivachanam. But in Sanskrit it is there. So the prayer is Sahanavavadu. Now both of us be protected by you together. Saha. Sahanau bhunaktu. Let both of us be nourished by you together. The teacher and the student should be nourished together. Saha vidyam karavavahe. But let both of us do heroic acts together. Tejasvi navadhidamastu. Now means ours. Ours, not plural, but dual. Mine and yours knowledge. Now adhidam. Tejasvi astu. Let it shine. Let it become brilliant. Tejasvi navadhidamastu. Ma vidyushavahe. Let there be no hatred between both of us, teacher and the student. So this sharing is very important. It is the foundation of educational activities. In our Upanishads and all, our traditional knowledge system, students are considered as God. The real teacher approaches student as divine. The adhigara is there. The student is a very big blessing for the teacher. There is a very strong belief in our tradition that a teacher will never get rid of his debt unless he passes over his knowledge to a right student. If he dies without passing over his knowledge to a student, he still remains debted. So it is, in olden times you will see struggle in the minds of scholars, pandits, to get a student, one student at least. Then only they can relieve themselves of their debt to their masters. Just like kings will be very, very frustrated if they don't have any child, any person as a heir to their kingdom, their dynasty. The Dasharatha story we know. He was very, very frustrated because he didn't have any child till maybe 60 years of age. So he did the Putrakameshti. And all the Rakugula kings you can see doing many tapas, etc. to get a child. And they all had mainly only one child. But Dasharatha is an exception. He had 4 children. So the king wants a child to hand over his kingdom to him. In the same way, a guru desires for or longs for a student to hand over his knowledge. This is our tradition. So by handing over or by expending our knowledge, the kosha becomes more abundant. And what is the other thing? Kshayado vridhi mayadi, kshayamayadi sanjayat. If the knowledge is kept with us, it will slowly decay. It will slowly run out. It is our experience. It's all of us. We have this feeling. We have this experience. If you ask me to deliver a lecture on Hindi literature at present, I may not be able to do. I have done it for 21 years. But since I am not sharing that knowledge with anyone, that knowledge in my kosha, in the Saraswati wallet that I had, that knowledge has become drained out. So I have kept it with me, but because I am not sharing with anyone, it is getting drained. So this wallet reminds me many things, and the belt is that it should be with us. It should be tied to our body. In the same way, the knowledge, the wallet containing knowledge should be tied to our personality, our individuality, our soul. It should be tied. This is our mission as teachers. We must always, this doesn't mean that we should stop gaining or acquiring knowledge. Acquiring knowledge should always happen, and sharing should happen parallelly. That is why in the Vedas, Rigveda, there is a prayer, Shadahastam samahara, sahasrahastam vigira. With 100 hands, let us hoard, let us collect. Shadahastam samahara, sahasrahastam vigira. And with 1,000 hands, let us share, let us distribute. This is the policy that a teacher can follow. So this is a very, 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 and I congratulate Shivanandan and his team for doing such innovative ideas, bringing applying such ideas to break the ice. So let me start my talk. So my talk is about our traditional wisdom in making ourselves successful. So the name given to this talk is 6 Pillars of Success. I think it is on. Okay. So this is the first slide. These slides are not very important. Just to, in ancient times, we used to give notes now, or we ask the students to take notes while we lecture. So I'm going to present some points, and you need not take the pains to write down them. They will be shown on this screen, only that much. Only very small 6 or 7 slides will be there, and these are the points that I would like to deliver during the course of this half an hour endeavor. So that what are the, we all want success, no? Success is the driving force of all human beings, no doubt. Even animals and birds, they also have a drive for success. You know, you can see fights between animals, no? Between birds. So success is a driving force. But what kind of a success we should cherish for, we should long for? That is the question. A success that is enduring, that is lasting. Not a success that is fleeting, that is very transitory. Many of our successes will not stay with us for long. We all know this. Academic success. From my experience, I will tell you. I wanted actually to pursue science, and my graduation was in physics. But in between, maybe because of many reasons, one of the main reasons was a teacher who taught Hindi, and we had a text, Kamayini, which was on Vedic philosophy. Based on Vedic philosophy, a beautiful poem was written by a great poet in Hindi, Jaishankar Prasad. And that 3 sargas, 3 chapters he taught in the second language class. And he chanted the Vedic mantras and all those things very beautifully. And it resonated in me. I thought that maybe there are other reasons also. I am not hiding anything. To get a PG admission is very difficult. You will have to get very good marks in the UG. So all these things compelled me to pursue literature. So my success, earlier success in science, is not now with me. Then I took the route of literature, and I studied some literature. That was mainly Hindi literature. And after coming to Amma, we had many opportunities to attend Sanskrit Sambhashana Shibiras. In all Amma's ashram branches, there were Sanskrit Sambhashana Shibiras. You may know, 10-day Sanskrit, spoken Sanskrit classes. And those classes, instilled in me a passion for Sanskrit. I had already studied Sanskrit for 3 years in my 5th, 6th and 7th grade. But the interest got changed into Sanskrit, and I started to read Sanskrit texts, Sanskrit books, and some general, very, very basic knowledge I got. So again, my Hindi literature success is not with me now. So these are all successes which will not last for long. But there is some success. There is a concept of success in our tradition which will be there with us throughout our life. Ultimately, it is, as Achyutamrita ji pointed out, it is self-knowledge. If we attain self-knowledge, then that is the ultimate success. That will be with us forever. That is why Bhagavad Gita ends with Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha, Tatra Srir Vijayo Bhudir Dhruva Netir Madharmama. That Vijaya in Bhagavad Gita, the Vijaya mentioned, success mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, is the success that we get when we realize ourselves. When we realize the divinity in us. When we realize the creation, as Amma puts it, when we realize that the creation is nothing but the manifestation of the Creator. The Creator Himself manifested as creation. So when that realization comes, that success is the ultimate success. It will be always with us. But there are some other successes which should be with us for throughout our life. For example, success in our family life should be there. Till the end of our life, our family life should be successful. It should not fail in between, just as my academic pursuits in physics broke at a point of time. Our success in our family life should never get broken. It should be with us for our entire life. In the same way, our financial success should be with us always. There are many things like that which should be with us throughout our lives. For a king, his kingdom should be with him till the end of his life, unless he renounces the kingdom and goes to the forest as a vanaprastha. So there are many things like that. So to make our successes enduring, everlasting, what should be? What are the basic laws, fundamental laws for making our success permanent? That is what we are going to discuss. These are from our traditional wisdom. I am using a Subhashita, as I mentioned earlier. Subhashitas are very simple teachings in Sanskrit. In all languages we have Subhashitas. And Subhashitas, if we understand one Subhashita well, it will give us a lot of light in our path. Just like knowledge, gaining knowledge, sharing knowledge, all these things are put in a very, very, very capsule size in a Subhashita. In the same way, in a 4-line Subhashita, what are the fundamentals of success is presented by a great Acharya. Let us see what are them. We have many ideas, so I would like to share, or I would like to get your inputs also if possible. So the last line is like this: Samrajya Lakshmi labhate manushyaha. This is the last line of that Subhashita. A human being gets Samrajya Lakshmi. Samrajya Lakshmi means, Samrajya means an empire. So it can be an empire of anything. We say that Ambani or Adani is an emperor. He has an empire of business. We say Amma has an empire of love and compassion. Shankaracharya had an empire of knowledge. So a Samrajya can be of anything, not only a geographical area. That alone is not Samrajya, even though the first meaning or direct meaning of Samrajya is a land, a piece of land, which is long in area. Area-wise, a very long piece of land is called Samrajya. But Samrajya is a word which can be symbolically used for any achievement in our lives. So Samrajya Lakshmi means excellent success. Labhade manushyaha, a human being can achieve excellent success if he or she has all these with him, all these qualities or all these traits in him. So what are the qualities that lead us to everlasting success? This is the question that we are going to discuss. So what will be the first thing that we will have to acquire so that we can have a success which is lasting? According to you, what is that? What will be the first thing that we need to cultivate in us so that we can have long-lasting success, everlasting success? This Acharya's approach is very different, but we have our own ideas about that. If I ask a student what is the fundamental law of success, he will immediately answer hard work. Because we all have learned the famous proverb, hard work is the key to success. So we may think that hard work is the first law of success. Then if he is a scientist or someone like that, if you ask him who is exploring knowledge, he may say power of concentration. Swami Vivekananda's famous quote is there, power of concentration is the key to the treasure house of knowledge. So that is the fundamental rule of success to a scientist or a person who is exploring new vistas of knowledge, who is studying. So many answers are there. But for our life, Generally, for our life, the first rule to success is, according to this Acharya, something that we may not be, we need not resist. Because if I explain you how it becomes the first step to success, I think you will be convinced. So what is it? Prasannamurtihi. That is the first rule to success. Prasannamurti. Be happy. Be pleasant. Have a cheerful countenance, face. Amma says, സന്തോഷം മറ്റെല്ലാ തീരുമാനങ്ങളും പോലെ ഒരു തീരുമാനമാണ്. എന്തും വരട്ടെ ഞാൻ സന്തോഷമായിരിക്കും എന്ന് തീരുമാനിക്കുക. So the first thing that we need in our life, if we want to be successful, is be happy. There is a famous Western philosopher, Herbert Spencer. He has a very famous saying. The only good in life is happiness. The time to be happy is now. The place to be happy is here. And the way to be happy, according to him, is to make others happy. So the first thing that we have to give importance is be happy in our lives. Throughout our life, be happy. If we are happy, then some of the obstacles will automatically be removed. We all know in our tradition, when we start any function, any ceremony or any ritual, the first deity that we worship is, who is it? First deity that we worship for when we begin anything, Ganesha, Ganapati. And there is a famous mantra for Ganapati. Many mantras are there, but when we chant Vishnu Sahasranama or something like that, what is the Ganapati mantra that we chant? Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chadurbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Viknopashantaye. So to remove all vignas or obstacles, we meditate upon Shuklambaradhara, one who wears a white dhoti, white cloth. Many deities are there with white clothes. Brahma, even the Lord Brahma is a person who wears a white cloth. Shashivarnam, one who has a white complexion like moon. Many deities are there who have white complexion. Chadurbhujam, with 4 hands. Almost all deities have 4 hands. So all these are it can be suited to every deities. Then which is the word for Ganesha? Actually, the word for Ganesha in that mantra, Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chadurbhujam, Vishnu is there. Vishnu is another deity. In spite of all this, the word Prasannavadana in that sloka denotes that it is Ganapati. Why? Because Prasanna had 2 meanings. The word Prasanna has 2 meanings. One is a person with happy face, Prasanna. The other is elephant. In Sanskrit dictionaries, you can see Prasanna, Kunjara, Karihi. Kunjara, Kari, Prasanna, all these are words of an elephant. So, Ganesha is one who has the face of an elephant, and the other meaning is one who has a very pleasant face. So this pleasant face and elephant's face is the key word in that sloka for Ganesha. So it indicates that one who has a pleasant face alone can remove the obstacles. And you know, in the world, 2 things are not boring, it is said. To watch. 2 things are not boring when we watch them. One is ocean, sea, and the other is elephant. That is why whenever there is an elephant, everybody will come out and want to see elephant. No, its face itself is always pleasant. We go on looking at its face. We see that, we think that it is smiling. It has a happy it has a happy emotion in it. The face itself points out happiness. That is why in our temples, whenever there is an utsava, this elephant is inevitable. It represents happiness. So this happiness is the first thing that has to be considered when we want to succeed in any of our actions. That is why Ganesha is worshipped in the beginning. So if we want to become happy in our lives, we must be successful in our life. We must be happy. Swami Vivekananda's quotes are there. I have read them in Malayalam. I haven't studied them in English, but many of them are worth remembering always. In that small booklet called Thus Spake Swami Vivekananda, there is a quote. He refers to happiness in the context of spirituality. Swamiji says, നൈരാശ്യം മറ്റെന്തു തന്നെയായാലും മതമല്ല. സന്തുഷ്ടഹൃദയനും പ്രസന്നവദനനുമാകുന്നതുകൊണ്ട് ഒരാൾ അത്രത്തോളം ഈശ്വരനോട് അടുക്കുന്നു. ഒരു പ്രാർത്ഥനയ്ക്കുമില്ല ഈ കഴിവ്. Swami Vivekananda says, having a very, very, very sad face, a gloomy face, is never spirituality. In the name of spirituality, many people become very, very, very gloomy, never smiling. Some people think that spirituality is against jokes, against fun, against laughing. Such concepts are there. But in Amma's presence, in Amma's way, it is not at all like that. Amma even asks everyone to cut jokes when she goes on Indian tour, or I think even in the Western tours, when she stops for a chai stop, first thing that she asks is to cut some jokes. So laughing is spirituality. Smiling. Sri Krishna never cried. He is the icon of spiritual fullness, spiritual perfection. He has wept only once. That was when he met Kuchela. It is said the poet cannot understand why he weeps when he sees Kuchela. അന്തണനെ കണ്ടിട്ടു സന്താപം കൊണ്ടോ തസ്യദൈന്യം അന്തണനെ കണ്ടിട്ടു സന്തോഷം കൊണ്ടോ തസ്യദൈന്യം ചിന്തിച്ചുള്ളിലുണ്ടായ സന്താപം കൊണ്ടോ എന്തുകൊണ്ടോ ശൗരി കണ്ണുനീരണിഞ്ഞു ധീരനായ ചെന്താമരക്കണ്ണനുണ്ടോ കരഞ്ഞിട്ടുള്ളൂ. When he met Kuchela, he wept. അന്തണനെ കണ്ടിട്ടുള്ള സന്തോഷം കൊണ്ടോ, because he is meeting his classmate after many years. So maybe because of that happiness only he sheds tears. തസ്യ ദൈന്യം ചിന്തിച്ചിട്ടുള്ളിലുണ്ടായ സന്താപം കൊണ്ടോ, or because seeing his poverty, Krishna's heart melt with compassion, and maybe because of that. എന്തുകൊണ്ടോ ധീരനായ, എന്തുകൊണ്ടോ ശൗരി കണ്ണുനീരണിഞ്ഞു. Why Krishna wept? ധീരനായ ചെന്താമരക്കണ്ണനുണ്ടോ കരഞ്ഞിട്ടുള്ളൂ. He has never wept in his life. This is the message of spirituality. Even in spirituality, being happy is the first law. So what is the next law? I don't think I will have time. Anyway, I will go very quickly through the topics. Next one is samudara chetaha. So being happy can be a sign of utter selfishness. I am very happy because I have everything. I am enjoying all of my possessions. I am indulging in all material pleasures, and I am always happy. So that is not the rule of success, everlasting success, enduring success. As Herbert Spencer said, the way to happiness is to make others happy. Samudara cheda, we should have generosity. We should be benevolent. The best example is Amma. Amma is always laughing, Amma is always happy, and that happiness is not self-centered. In a sense, it is self-centered, that is, the S is capital. Capital S, self-centered. But not in the normal sense. Self-centered, only thinking about myself. That is not the way to success. That will never make us successful. But samudara cheda, if we are ready to share all that we have with others, then that will lead us to real success. Shiva, the time at end. So, because I am just delivering points, I will tell you a story here. There was a great king in the Bhoja's court. So he was poor as there was a great poet in King Bhoja's court. That poet was not very rich. Generally, poets will not become very rich. It is said that Saraswati and Lakshmi will not reside together. So these poets and scholars are not much bothered about wealth. So they are generally very poor. So this poet also was poor, but he was a court poet, Rajagavi. So one day he was traveling on the road in the afternoon, noontime. So it was very hot, and he saw a beggar coming on the opposite direction, from the opposite direction. So the beggar didn't have any slippers. The poet at least had slippers. So because the road was very hot, the beggar was not able to walk on the road. He was dancing because his feet was getting burnt. So on seeing this, the Rajagavi felt very compassionate. Generally, these poets are all they are all emotional beings. So he couldn't bear the sight of the beggar walking on the road, on the hot road without slippers. So without thinking much, he gave his slippers to that beggar. So the beggar was very thankful and he started walking normally. But the poet got into trouble. He was also not used to walk barefooted on the roads. So he started dancing on the road because of the heat on the road. At that time, the king's royal elephant was being taken to some spot by the mahout. So the king's mahout with the royal elephant came from the opposite direction. So the mahout asked the poet, "Why are you dancing on the road?" So the poet said, "What to say? I did a foolish thing. I gave away my slippers to that beggar, and now I cannot walk on the road." So the mahout felt very, very compassionate, and he told, "You mount the elephant, and I will take you to your destination." Because the poet is very respectable person. And he instructed the elephant to bow down, and he helped the poet to mount the elephant. And the poet started walking or riding on the elephant. But to his utter bad luck, the king came out at that time in his chariot. And the king, while going on the chariot, while riding the chariot, he looked up and saw the poet on his elephant. So the king became very angry. "You are a poet, I agree, and I sponsor you, everything is right. But mounting my elephant, so arrogant you became," he asked in a satirical way. "How did you get my elephant?" The poet became very, 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 very scared. What to tell? Immediately, because he is a poet, a sloka came in his mind. He answered in a poem. He says, "Vashida. Ubanaham maya dattam jirnam karna vivarjidam. Tat punyena gajarudho nadattam hi vai tad gadam." Ubanaham maya dattam. There's a lesson in that verse also. Ubanaham maya dattam jirnam karna vivarjidam. I have donated my slippers, ubanaham, and that is a very old one. Jirnam, karna vivarjidam, and the straps are all broken. Still I gave away to another person. Ubanaham maya dattam jirnam karna vivarjidam. Tat punyena gajarudho. Because of that punya, now I am on top of the elephant. Nadattam yadhi tad gadam. That which is not given away is equal to something which is lost. So on hearing this message, the king was very happy. And it is said that the king donated that elephant to that poet. Because of such a great message delivered on the spot. Without thinking, he gave that, he created that sloka and chanted it or sung it. So the king was very much impressed. And the king took it as a message for him. Nadattam hiyad tad gadam. That which is not given away in charity, that is equal to something which is lost. So this is the greatness of large-heartedness or benevolence, or udara cheda. And in Vidura's Nidhi, there it is said that Naiga sukhi syat. One should never be ega sukhi. Being happy by oneself all alone. Happiness should be shared. Becoming happy with one's own close family members or something like that. That type of happiness is not recommended. Happiness which can be shared with others, in which everybody can take part, that types of happiness is recommended in our tradition. Naiga Sukhi, Eka Sukhi. We should never become Eka Sukhi. We should become Naiga Sukhi. Everybody should together become happy. That is what Amma every day asks us to chant. Logaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. This udarada, benevolence should be the guiding rule of our lives. Then only our lives will become really successful. So this is the second rule of success. Then the third one, Vamshabhimani. We have, as Narayan sir and Achyutamrita has rightly mentioned, we should have pride in our tradition, in our lineage, in our Vamsha. This is not anything racism. Never think it as racism. We should be proud of our heritage. We all, when we were in schools, we used to daily do a pledge. No, anybody remember or not? I don't know. We all used to do it in Malayalam because we all studied in Malayalam medium. India and Rajyamana, ella Indiakarum and Sahodiri Sahodarmana, it goes it goes on like this, and in between you can see and Rajatinde Sudirghavum. What is the line? And Rajatinde Dirghavum Agathavumaya Paramparyathil Njan Abhimanam Kollunnu. Something like that. I take pride in my rich and deep heritage. I think it is the sentence. So we all have to take pride in our tradition. This is not anything like caste differences, class differences, race differences, nothing like that. Even Marxism, how did it flourish? Karl Marx has asked his followers, Sarvarajyatoilaligale Sanghadikku. They were proud of the laborer class. That pride was there. That is why it spread so fast. So we have to identify ourselves with some vamsha, some lineage. That pride will make us successful. We can very easily be proud of Amma's family. We are all members of Amma's family. Amma is our Kulapati. The Kulapati is chancellor. In Sanskrit, the word for chancellor is Kulapati. So Amma is our Kulapati, and we can be proud of that Kulam, that Vamsham. There are two types of Vamsha in the famous Sanskrit Vyakarana text, Siddhanta Kaumudi. It is very explicitly said, Vamshodvidha Vidyaya Janmanacha. There are two types of Vamsha. One is through birth. We belong to different Vamshas. And the other is through Vidya. Someone who gets knowledge from a guru, maybe Vishwamitra, then he will be called a Kaushika. Because his guru is a Kushika, a Vishwamitra. One who gets knowledge from Vasishta, he will be called a Vasishta. Not because he is a son of any of the members of Vasishta's family. But because he got knowledge from Vasishta, he belongs to that Vamsha, Vasishta Vamsha. So we all belong to Amma's Vamsha because we are all getting knowledge from Amma. So we can be proud of that. You know about Siddhartha, who was a king, Shakya Raja. But he became Buddha. And he came to his father's, the capital town, the mansion, and begged in front of his father. Then his father Shuddhodana got angry. He said, you have brought infame to our dynasty. We are Kshatriyas, we never beg. You have corrupted our family. You are a kalanka to the Vamsha. Then Buddha said, I don't belong to your Vamsha now. Earlier I was a member of your Vamsha, Shakya Vamsha. Now I belong to the Vamsha of Rishis. Because he got enlightenment and his identification got changed. His identification as a Kshatriya got changed into a Rishi. So we can identify ourselves with some great ideals and be proud of that. And that will lead us to success. That will at many occasions, it will restrain us from doing bad things. It will prompt us to do the right thing. In Ramayana, when Kaikeyi asked Dasharatha to pledge in the name of Rama that he will grant the 2 boons that Kaikeyi is going to ask, Dasharatha simply answers, I need not pledge in the name of Rama to fulfill your demand of 2 boons, because I have already given you 2 boons, maybe many decades before. But I will give that boons whenever you ask, because my Vamsha compels me to do that. Raghukula Niti Sadachali Ai Pranajay Baru Bhajana Najay. Because my Raghukula Niti, our policy of the Raghuvamsha is that Pranajay Baru Bhajana Najay. Even if we have to forsake our life, we will never allow to forsake our words. This is our Vamsha Niti. So such ideals that are handed over to us from our lineage will always protect us from doing wrong things, and they will prompt us to do the right things. So this Vamshabhimana is very much necessary. Nowadays, it is not there in anyone. We are all lacking in Vamshabhimana. Nobody is proud of India. Being proud of Bharat itself will protect us, because Bharata is a Vamsha which revels in knowledge, in culture, in light. The word itself means, Bha means light, Radha means which revels in light. So the people, the race which revels in knowledge itself is that only is denoted by Bharata. So if we take pride in our nation itself, that will lead us to success. Then the next point is Shubha Vagvilasaha. We have to use good words. We should have good communication skills. In Gita it is said, Anudvegakaram Vakyam Satyam Priyahidam Chayat. Our words should be Anudvegakara. It should not provoke others. Anudvegakaram Vakyam Satyam. It should contain the reality. Priyam. And it should be delivered in a sweet way. Hidam. And it should do some good to the hearer, to the listener. It should not be in vain. And it should not be untruth. And it should not be harsh. So all these types of qualities should be there in our words, in our speech. Amma says, Madhuramaya Vakyam Ishwara Prarthanayana. So these, using languages, making our language polished and delivering what is necessary in the right way, that itself will help us in getting success. Nowadays, it has been addressed by all institutions, all corporate institutes. You have to get good communication skills so that we will be successful in all our endeavors. So these communication skills, that's very much necessary. There are many incidences when if we use words in a wrong way, that will lead us to great dangers. Kumbhakarna wanted to get nirdevatva. He wanted that there should not be any devas. But what he asked to Brahmaji was nidrevatva. Only a syllable, 2 syllables got changed. Nirdevatva became nidrevatva. So nidreva, I want only nidra. He wanted to ask nirdeva. There should not be any devas. So just by the mistake that he committed by uttering the word nidreva instead of nirdeva, he had to sleep all the day. 365 days a year he had to sleep. And Ravana has to do another very intense tapas to make some amendment in that boon. And he got the boon amended that after 6 months he will get up and stay awake for 1 day. And it's a very beautiful story in Ramayana. All Ramayanas you can see that story. So communication skill is very much essential for us to succeed in our endeavors. Then, next one. Anidhi Bhidi. We should be afraid of anidhi. We should not resort to unjust ways, immoral ways, unrighteous ways. All our pursuit should be in the right path, in the just way. In the path of justice only we go ahead. So in Ramayana we can see Ravana had all success, but he acquired or he achieved all this success in an unrighteous way. So it didn't last. But Rama, with the righteous path that he tread, made him empowered to conquer the mighty Ravana. Ravana had defeated all the kings, even the Devas. His son was Indrajit. Still, Rama, who had only his brother with him, with the help of monkeys, could conquer Ravana, because Ravana's achievements were through the path of unrighteousness. And Rama's strength was righteousness. Ramo vigrahavan dharma. So that righteousness will fetch success which is everlasting. Unrighteousness may fetch success for some time. It will be very, very short-lived success. That is the message of Ramayana. And the other last point, after all, we should be humble. We should be polite. Guru sadhu namraha. In front of Guru, always we should be humble. We should always prostrate in front of Guru. Even a Shishya, even if he becomes more learned than the Guru, in the normal sense, not in the spiritual sense. In the spiritual sense, you can never become more learned than the Guru. You can become one with the Guru, but you cannot outgrow the Guru. Because there is Advaita. There is no anything to be achieved more than something else. Nothing like that. But in worldly life, we may become more learned than our Gurus. But still, we have to be very humble in front of our Gurus. Even the Guru who taught us to write in the childhood, that Guru is also worthy of our praise, our worship. And sadhu, all good people. Sadhu means sajjana. All righteous people are worthy of our respect. You can see in Ramayana, when Parashurama comes, Rama first prostrates in front of Parashurama, because he had done so great things. He has eradicated the corrupted Kshatriyas 21 times. So he rightly, he rightly deserve respect. Even though he had come to punish Rama, Rama first prostrates in front of him. He praises Parashurama. But when Parashurama attacks Rama, when he challenges Rama only, Rama asks to give the bow. So I will show my powers to you. But in the first instance, he was prostrating in front of Parashurama. That is why, because he was a sadhu. Parashurama was a great achiever. He established dharma. So even if Rama was greater than, more powerful than Parashurama, he shows his humility in front of Parashurama. So these are the lessons. We have to be humble in front of our own Guru and all other righteous persons in the world, all other noble people in the world. So if we have all these qualities in our lives, Samrajya Lakshmi Labhate Manushya, that person will get a success which is a Lakshmi, which will not get decayed, which will not get drained. It will be permanent. So let us all try to achieve this type of success in our lives, and also inspire our students to achieve success which is founded on all these great qualities. So I think I have taken a little more time than was allowed. So I beg your pardon. I apologize for that. Anyway, this is a big topic. I think it's a long topic. So I had to take some 10 or 15 minutes extra. So with these words, I thank all of you for your patient listening. And I also prostrate in front of Amma, because of whose grace I am able to speak like this. And also I thank Shivanandan for arranging this program. And once again I thank all of you and offer my words at Amma's lotus feet. Om Amriteshwari.